What's going on, everyone? I am Davie,
I'm Misty.
and welcome to another special episode of DM Watts. This is our last episode in our PTSD series, where you guys will hear some candid conversations from our children.
Oh, and they're very candid. Some of them more candid than others.
Yeah. So,
but we learned a lot from the kids as far as what they know and what they don't know.
right.
And how I guess it's affected them. And there's just a lot in there. You ask them a series of 5 questions.
Right.
You want to go ahead and say
Well,
what
yeah,
those
no.
questions are? Or
Well,
we gotta leave those people guessing.
well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
you did, yeah. It's narrated.
Yeah, it's narrated on certain parts. So there, you guys will see that, we asked them a series of a few questions, just their take on PTSD. And one of the biggest things that we're trying to get across is that, hey, you guys have heard that from my perspective, my wife's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're going to hear from our kids' perspective.
Yeah, and it's unique.
It is.
Each one of them has a unique view of it.
Right.
And then there's 2 that have an even more unique view of it.
Right. So we just one of the takeaways we guys want you to understand is that we put this stuff out there for informational purposes, and hopefully our videos will help people who's struggling with it.
Absolutely. And that you'll learn. I'm sorry, you'll learn about how it may affect your kids. These are ours, and
Right.
This is how it's affecting them. And again, I'm going to remind everybody they're in their 20s. Every single one of them is no older than 24.
Yeah.
All the way to 19.
Right. But it also goes back to what we always say: unapologetic.
Yes.
Because if you can't let your kids be them, and because there are things that they want to say.
Sure.
But don't know, is this okay? Is this okay? So this is for the kids or the adults, in between, just out of their teens and so on, or even some of the young ones that are struggling with what to do, what to say, or how to feel when it comes to this PTSD in its own. And so you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna hear some real candid takes. It's real raw, but that's how we do it, unscripted. This is scripted, but unapologetic, and is edited.
Yeah,
so,
it is. It is. It has to be. It's a special.
Yeah, it's a special, so we had to edit it, but it's still unapologetic.
Yeah,
it's still unapologetic.
It is very unapologetic.
Yeah, so,
yes.
But we'll go ahead and get into it. Hey, we hope you guys like it, and as usual, thanks for tuning in. You guys know what it is. If you're watching it on YouTube, I forgot to say that.
Oh yeah. Like, comment,
subscribe, all of that.
Same with Podbean, Spotify, Apple Music. You can find us everywhere.
Yeah.
So just share us with your friends too.
Right. It'll be something that this is something for everybody.
It is.
Or who knows somebody.
Yeah.
If you're going through it, or who knows somebody who's going through it, you guys get the word out. This is PTSD Awareness Month. But this is something you should be aware of 365, 24/7.
Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. What do you know about PTSD?
What I know about PTSD is that pretty much it affects you mentally and kind of makes you more emotional and more tied to your past in the way.
In World War I, they call it shell shock.
Okay, so what, right now, what do you know about PTSD?
It stands for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay, so symptoms and stuff like that?
When you hear a paintball gun go off, you dive under the couch.
Okay, probably not that.
Some people do!
Yeah, probably not that. But, okay, let's start over real quick. So,
for example, my mom dives under the table when the lights go out because she thinks there's an earthquake happening.
Okay.
In most of the way, it is all in your head, but at the same time, it physically affects everything that it is that you have going in your life. It affects relationships. It affects day-to-day activity. It affects people to a point. A lot of people that have PTSD also have OCD. You know what I mean? There's a lot of correlation to a lot of other disorders that are very, very prevalent in some people's attitude, mindset, and that's the only thing that it is that keeps them them. But at the same time, in a certain extent, it can also affect who they are as an individual, because you'll start to see them in specific patterns do things that it is that are not healthy sometimes.
All I really know is that it stands for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah. What do you think that actually causes it? Like do you know that?
Trauma, I'm assuming.
Yeah, actually, good answer.
I know that it's very common in the military. I know that there's very extreme cases. I know there's very minor cases. I know that it can affect anybody and everybody in countless different ways. I know that you've experienced it. I don't know that I can say that I have, but I wouldn't say that you can really tell if anybody ever has just by looking at them or from what they tell you, you know.
When you found out I had PTSD, did your opinion of me change?
Not at all.
Okay.
My opinion didn't change of you at all.
Okay, cool. That's pretty cut and dry, right to the point.
I mean,
right.
I don't see why it would. I don't think it should. I mean, you did countless things that numerous people wouldn't even think to do.
Well,
that wouldn't make me feel any different type of way about you. If anything, it made me feel better about you.
All right. Don't make me cry on this dang on camera. I'm telling you this.
No.
Why or why not?
My opinion of you did not change, because no matter what, you're my dad. And no matter what, I'm going to always be here for you, because you are my dad, and I love you.
Not really.
Like, was it something that, like, did you notice any different behaviors or anything like that? It was just...
No. I figured you had it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is it that?
Well, 'cause I'm like, there's no way you spent fucking 2 decades in the goddamn military and didn't come out with something.
Truth.
I was like, there's something there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, when I found out, I was like, yeah, that's not surprising.
Okay.
Because everybody has it on a specific level.
No, because you're my dad regardless, and I didn't really know, like, I still don't really know too much about it, so no, not really.
Did you notice a change in me? And if so, did it make you change your approach when conversing with me?
Not really.
Like, it was just like, hey, just treat them the same, or what?
Yeah, more or less.
Because it's one of those things. I'm trying to just get more of an elaboration.
I'm not going to suggest war movies to you anymore.
Yeah, I figure you've gotten that one. Yeah, that's it.
I suggested one, didn't end that great, so I'm not going to anymore.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's about it.
With that, I didn't see a change.
Well, understand this. It was because I was changing that I had to go and find out what was going on.
Whenever you had told me, I wasn't really surprised, because I kind of figured, being in for that long, it was bound to happen. I didn't notice any real change, because we weren't super close beforehand, so I wouldn't have really known how you were before.
Right.
But I feel like when I did meet, like whenever we did actually start talking and everything, I feel like it had kind of already started, maybe not as necessarily sunk in as much.
Yeah.
But, kind of as you got closer to getting to retirement, maybe it sunk in more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it really changed how I approached you at all. I don't think it really changed how we conversed at all. I don't think it really changed anything about how we've ever interacted.
Yes, I did, because when we found out you had PTSD, it seemed like you were more upset, not so much upset as in like, oh, I'm gonna go cry, but like upset as in you didn't seem as happy as you usually would be. Like, you weren't as excited to go do things, or you just didn't seem like yourself.
Well, I noticed that I can't ever ask you to watch Ayla, but I'm just kidding.
No, that's right.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, not really. I don't think so. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. And that's fine. So, well, even the patience thing could even be one. You know what I mean? The patience thing, which I'd normally be all about my grandbabies, and now it's just like, hey, it can be a little difficult. Now that you know I have PTSD, do we reflect on our past encounters differently?
Well, I also, I don't really know how long you had it, so I don't really know what
Exactly.
I can pick out,
Exactly. So now when you look at PTSD and some of the symptoms being, hey, angry outbursts, hey, totally just inability to concentrate. Sometimes this can be like bad judgment and things like that. You know what I mean? They're just things that, and patience wearing thin. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things that they notice a lot, angry outbursts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like we were kind of like, I don't want it to sound bad, but we were kind of used to it because it was like when you were home, like that's pretty much all there was. I mean, besides the good times, of course we had good times, but there were times where it was just like neither one of us wanted to be around you.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like you were always angry.
Yeah. And so now, knowing that that's some can be some of the effects of it, because even I've had to look back. Can you kind of understand it a little bit now? Do you look at it a little bit differently now?
Well, yeah, I do, but like I said, we also don't know how long you had it either.
Exactly.
So I really can't pick and choose like what situations. Oh, that could have been just PTSD, or because even when we were way younger, like when you weren't diagnosed with it, and like even like you would wake up and your nightmares and stuff like that, like obviously that was something, but at the time we didn't know it was your PTSD. I don't know, so I can't really pick out and be like, well, there's this time that I said this and then you reacted like this, because there were plenty of times where we just didn't have good interactions. There were plenty of those times where we argued. There were plenty of times where we went back and forth and just didn't agree. So I don't know. I can't really pick out.
Actually, you explained it pretty much in detail, whether you realize it or not.
But I now have to approach you in different ways just to communicate. And sometimes my approaches aren't the best. My thing is I was raised by you one direction and one way. In general, certain things, it's not that I'm saying you changed on those point of views, but you've also loosened and you've broadened around.
No, not really. It hasn't changed how I look at our past, mainly because past is past and you can't really do anything about it, I mean, we can change shit and we can work differently in the future, but we can't really, change what we've already done.
Absolutely.
But I don't think you can be mad about something that's already happened because you don't know about it. I can't be mad at you for not being able to control something that was completely out of your hands and it not being changeable now either. I mean,
now that I know you have PTSD, I don't really view anything differently. I mean, obviously there's some things where it's like, okay, like you need Nala, you need your service dog around for certain things, and it's like, okay, that's different, but it's not anything that I can't get used to. Like, it's not something that I can't change myself to be used to, if that makes sense.
No.
Care to elaborate a little, Devin?
No.
So nothing else you want to add at all?
It's an honest answer.
This is. So what do you want people to know about PTSD?
But you have to understand that everybody's PTSD is as real to them as it is, period. You cannot put a cap or value on somebody else's problems or what they're going through. So if you have that friend that just calls you and just says, hey, I got this going on, I just really need to talk. Sometimes take a second to just be that ear.
Of course.
Because a lot of people don't understand what goes on. And again, this about PTSD, it's a spectrum. So, and it comes and goes on different levels. But if it's something that is reoccurring, you definitely know it. The big thing I will say is, if you know that you have this issue, get help. Do not let this go untreated.
I guess I just want people to be more aware of it. Like, it is a thing, and it's more common than you actually think. I want people to not more so have sympathy for the people who have PTSD, but just be there. Like, if somebody who has PTSD comes up to you and says, like, or just starts venting to you, like, just be there, just listen to them. Like, no matter who or what the occasion may be, just listen to them.
What about you, Devin?
I want people to know that it's not everything they see in a movie. It's not, people having flashbacks. It's not people, hearing a gunshot or a firework and immediately, freaking out. I mean, I want people to know that it can be super subtle. It can be something super major. It can come in every form and every way. It's just like anything else that, people go through, any form of a mental disorder or a mental illness. It's something that isn't in your control. It's something that you can't necessarily say, hey, I've got this, or hey, this happened, so I have this. It's really difficult to diagnose, and you can't just say, oh, well, he went on a deployment, so he's got PTSD.
Right.
I mean, it can be something that you didn't even know and you didn't tell anybody about.
Yep.
Because it was a traumatic experience. Maybe you're not going to want to talk about it. You can still have PTSD from it, but not tell anybody about it because you don't want to talk about it, because it was a traumatic experience. But I feel like a lot of people see, for example, like people see Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
And they immediately think, oh, he goes fucking psychotic. He goes crazy and just starts killing people. That's not at all what it always is. That was just one specific case that ended really terribly.
Yeah.
And I think people have a really bad lighting and a really bad knowledge of it because of movies and media and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool.
You just have to be patient.
Yeah. It's one of those things, right? Actually, I think that sums it up. You just have to be patient. Is there any?
You just patient.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to it?
Not really. Because I myself don't even really know about it, so I don't want to.
Is there something that you wanted to know? Okay, so you know that I have it, right? But there's things that you don't know about it, right? Right? Am I correct here? So there's things that you don't. So post-traumatic stress, right? Disorder is obviously it's a trauma, something that happened, and it's something that your brain protects you from, right? But then sometimes those things leak out, right? Those things leak out and can cause us to do things, so all of a sudden, maybe one day I was fine, and then next day, hey, you're really angry all the time. Angry outbursts, isolation, not wanting to be around people. Another thing they call hypervigilance, where you don't want to be in a store full of people, or you're constantly looking for an escape. Like, hey, that's the exit. I need to be here. So on hypervigilance, right? Like, not, hey, no, I can't be up by a door. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my back to the door and things like that. And sometimes, there's like, it can get to where you see a lot of homeless vets, which I'm sure you've seen them passing them. You know what I mean? Where it says, hey, homeless vets, right? And that's times where things get so bad in their head where they remove themselves completely from reality. Not so much reality, but society, let's just say. And they just want to be alone in their head, and it can just eat at them even more. You see what I'm saying? So those are the things, because clearly I've seen a lot of stuff during my travels, when Iraq and some things in Japan and stuff like that. But, but what is it? Is there anything that you wanted to know? You know what I mean? Or anything else that you wanted to say on it? If not, baby, it's fine.
I just don't know. Like I said earlier, when you first got diagnosed with it, I haven't been really around to see much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't been that's stuff that you kind of tucked away. I don't know if it's just for me
Mm-hmm.
or if it's from all three of us, but I haven't been around to witness, you know, what happens when you know, have a panic attack or when you, or whatever happens. I don't know. I'm not around it to give my opinion on it. I don't really know.
Yeah. I think when it comes down to it, some of the things that I think that you may probably have witnessed, you just didn't realize that that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about the anger, right? When you talk about the anxiety, and it's like, you know, a lot of things that, hey, I can't be around this, or hey, I got to go disappear for a little while. You see what I'm saying? And stuff, because I didn't want anybody to see me in that light. You know what I mean? And so those are the things that, you know, that I kind of can bring up with that. Okay, Devin, were you worried about my PTSD knowing I just married your mother?
Yeah, a little bit, but I was like, they don't have a gun.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
But there you go.
Wait, so you weren't concerned for him because it's me, and you'd be like, she gonna?
No, because you're. No.
Mm.
I'm kidding.
You're fine. It's like everyone should be scared of you.
Yes.
It's like you're not locked in here with me. It's like I'm not locked in with you. You're locked in with me.
Yeah. Well,
that's how you roll.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm gonna ask.
You headbutted multiple people.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about you.
So this last one's for you, specifically. So given the job that you have, do you have a unknown or underlying fear that something may happen that will give you PTSD? And if so, there's a second part to it. If so, do you think you'll be able to recognize certain things that, hey, I need to get help?
I think that recognizing that you need help and going to actually get the help are two entirely different steps.
Right.
Because I noticed it in Korea. I had friends that I had numerous sleeping disorders in Korea, and I had friends that, I can't sleep, I can't do this, we'd always be tired at work, and, drinking, numerous amounts of energy drinks just because we thought that was the fix for it. We thought that was the cure. And I don't think we even noticed that it wasn't necessarily just, we're just tired, we're just sleepy, we're working long hours. I don't think it was something like that. I think there was something underlying it, but we're all, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. Okay, yeah, we're just naturally tired. I don't think any of us realized that there could have been a problem.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily feel like I have experienced anything that is giving me a PTSD of any sort, but I don't know that I could say I would know that I need help until it gets to a certain extreme point.
Okay. Now, is that something? Go ahead.
And I was going to say it sucks because that's where a lot of people get to, is it gets too far, it gets to that extreme point, like I was saying in Full Metal Jacket. It gets too far out of hand too quickly and something bad happens. And that's why it's really hard to, to notice.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's always that stigma with it. And I think, especially coming from certain standpoints in life, but I guess the one thing that I would say to you is that if clearly I may have a little bit of experience with it, so if I definitely know it, I would definitely notice it. I would say something to you. But that's actually all I got, son. And I think it was wow, thank you. So guys, that was it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That was our kids' take on PTSD. We obviously took the time to have a little bit of fun with the edits too.
Yeah, we did. We have to.
Because if you can't laugh while you're doing something serious, what's the point, right?
Well, and it's important to be able to, like you're saying, laugh. You have to find the humor in life, period.
Truth.
And we're fortunate enough, all of them are funny.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes the one that doesn't speak the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Devin. But,
so if you guys watched it on YouTube, then you guys saw their names and saw, the feelings about everything. If you were watching it, if you're streaming it, just doing the audio, obviously we didn't put their names on the audio, but stroll on over to the YouTube and
and you can
watch it there.
You can put the face to the names.
Exactly.
And I just want to talk about real quick how we're always taught that children are resilient. This proves it.
Yeah.
He's been going through this for a long time, and the kids didn't know it. He didn't know it.
Right.
So this shows you that there is another side to it. For those people that are scared they're going to damage their kids, or, if they let them know, no, they're going to be fine. And as you could hear, they don't think of him any differently. That's still dad, or that's stepdad.
Yeah.
And so they're very resilient. And also I love the fact that our dog is coughing behind us. That's the seal we did not go to Monterey Bay Aquarium or anything like that. That's our seal Scar. But furthermore, I want to say that I appreciated that each one of them at the end of it, said patience. What they want people to know, to have patience, to seek treatment, to get help.
Right.
I liked, and to listen to someone else. I liked that one too.
Yeah.
They were like,
they
hey,
all
someone
had
calls you, listen.
And and I think that was the one that shocked me the most. What did you want people to know about PTSD?
Yeah.
And the responses were pretty much the same. Like, hey, this is not these people's fault. Somebody coming to you, definitely listen. If above all, if you don't know what to do, find out where you can, send them to,
right,
or give them some information,
right,
about, hey, these places can help. If you're a vet, whether you're a vet or not, you're not alone.
No.
But especially if you're a vet, going through the things that you're going through, because like we said, it's PTSD month. We did this for everybody, but we do have a special place in our heart for the vets, for obvious reasons. So if you're a vet, look, the VA has a plethora of programs, and I'm pretty sure that you can go up to any of your brothers, sisters in arms, and if you're going through it, they'll listen and they'll help in any way they can.
And there's information, we give it all over
the
YouTube channel.
Yep.
And you can listen to the past specials and again, PTSD
.va.gov. Right. And so we even put the text messages you can put on there. And not only that,
Google it too.
If you can't find out that way, call the VA. And the first thing they give you in the prompt is plenty of avenues to call if you're going through it right then and there.
Yes, they do. And
so
I want to make sure that I've covered everything with the kids. I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And this was hard. And I need you to understand, that's what this is about. It's about us being able to have that conversation with them and make sure that if they don't understand something, that they're not afraid to ask. And if we feel like we are, that we're talking to them. You hear in the part with Davie talking to Sonia about it and making sure that she knows, it's okay if she has a question, and him trying to explain a little bit more. And I really appreciate, that this is happening, that this dialogue is happening. And I hope that anybody listening to it or watching it, it helps you in whatever your trauma was, whether it's military or just life or whatever, that you have that hard conversation so that you can allow people to be a part of you, because that's what that is making sure they know that they are a part of you.
Right. And so, we're going to finish this off, guys, by saying, once again, thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for listening. And once again, we hope that this has been beneficial and at the very least informational, to some people out there. So, but you guys know what it is. Once again, dmwattspodcast@gmail.com. You guys know the YouTube, because you're watching it, you know what to do, and catch us on all the streaming services. So that was our last one special for the PTSD series.
For PTSD, I'm sure there's going to be
many
more specials,
but that was our last one for PTSD series. Yeah,
we're worn out.
Oh yeah,
that was 3 of them, and it was heavy.
Yeah,
but it was good.
But definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. So. But signing off, I am Davie.
I'm Misty.
And we are DM Watts. Take it easy out there, guys. Thank you.
Stay safe.